Beats here from Pop Turn. It's me to Zack Morris about Goosebumps, which is streaming now on Disney Plus and on Hulu. Welcome to the show, man. It's good to see you.
Thank you for having me. Your energy is crazy. I love that.
I mean, it's exciting, man. We're talking about Goosebumps. I mean, these are projects that are like announced. We wait, then we find out like yourself and others are cast and in trailers, and we're finally able to see it. So it's like it's kind of like the whole, like, it's like the event of announcements are events even before we get to see the show. It's crazy to think about, right?
That is true. That is true. There was a really cool build up for the show, and I hope we lived up to the expectation.
I feel like, this is a really cool and unique opportunity for you as an actor storyteller, because in one regard, there's, familiar territory because Goosebumps is very nostalgic. People love the books, the original show. And in the other regard is a whole new world because this is a new kind of reimagination of Goosebumps, different characters and everything. Do you think about that unique kind of aspect of it from a storyteller perspective when you sign up to it, where there's familiar territory and unfamiliar territory? You know what's going on, but you don't know what's going on.
I mean, I think for me, it was definitely an interesting prospect from the beginning.
Yep.
Of course, it's stuff that has been done before. There are different adaptations of the books, be that the series or the other movies. But from episode 1, the script that I saw, first of all, I could already tell that tonally it was very different.
Yeah.
They were trying to make this their own version of, rather than just recreate what you've seen before. So for me, it still felt original, So for me to be able to play around with that and it be a complete contrast to the other Say Cheese and Die, it felt like its own thing. So yeah, it was definitely interesting.
And what I loved about the Disney Plus series as well, Zach, is the fact that, I'm watching it and I'm feeling all these elements kind of coming together for this series. I'm feeling kind of the nostalgia. I'm feeling kind of the spooky season, kind of creepy horror movie kind of component to things, right? And everything. And I'm kind of also seeing the coming of age and a slice of life. What element kind of stuck out to you on this project the most? Or was it like a bunch of elements together?
I mean, there were so many, but for me, just talking as an actor, I just got to play with so many different things.
Yep.
It's not tied down to one specific genre. Mm-hmm. So, for example, if it's just horror, you're going to do a lot of scared reactions and you're going to do a lot of scared things, and it's going to be very petrified. It's going to be quite dark, but it's not just that. You've got comedy. With Isaiah, he's the popular kid, so I've also got that side of it as well. Friendship, so he's got the banter. Then I've got the action sequences, so you do a bit of that. So there was a bit of everything for me. So that was kind of what I was most excited about, really, was the fact that it didn't feel like it was tied down to one thing. Mm-hmm. And I was able to explore many different avenues within creation and performance.
The journey of kind of reading these characters in the script and then going and filming it and then seeing it on Video Village and seeing kind of the scenes before it comes out always interests me, because I feel like it's different, right? You have ideas of what this character is going to be like, but then actually going and filming it. What was that journey like for you specifically on Goosebumps, with like seeing it in the script and then seeing it kind of translate on the screen specifically?
I think the coolest parts for me were probably, the CGI.
Yeah.
As far as like the playing,
the football was like the coolest thing. I love the football, man. I kept going back and like watching. That must have been cool but weird, but maybe a lot wasn't there, right, when you were filming it.
Yeah. I mean, there was I got a little BTS video that I might put on socials, but there was a few different versions. So I did a version where I was being chased by like 3 zombies. Yep. And they had full on prosthetics and they had the whole makeup. There was a version of being chased by 3 zombies, and we rehearsed the kind of trail of which I was running, where I was dodging, what I was going to be moving from. And then we did a version where there was like a whole team chasing me, a whole team of zombies. And then we did a version where there was no one chasing me. Yeah. So for me, I was just excited to see the version that they like the finished product really. So as far as it coming from the page to seeing the finished thing, the coolest stuff for me and the stuff that impresses me the most is the CGI. You know, like as far as the scenes, there's bits of improv that have been kept. There's moments that we kind of threw together ourselves that have been kept. But I think as a kind of spectacle, for me, to not get too attached to how did I say that line or how did that really go down? It's the CGI, you know, because I have nothing to do with CGI at all. That is not my remit. I get told to run, I run, and then they put zombies there.
Obviously different kind of characters, different storylines, project to project, and I feel like the mindset is always going to be different no matter what. But like, do you, or maybe it depends on the project, but like, do you take kind of like past mindsets and preparations from like past projects to current projects? Like, do you take some things from EastEnders and like, does that kind of come into play when you're kind of preparing and working on Goosebumps, or are they kind of like separate projects in a way?
I mean, well, first of all, they're very different.
Yeah.
Like the style of shooting is very different.
But it's all storytelling, right? That's where I'm getting at as well. Yeah.
Yeah. So of course there's bits and pieces that you will kind of continue, like preparation, like the kind of annotations and the way I'll kind of pick apart a script, of course, is kind of carried throughout the jobs. But all that kind of, well, it goes out the window, but it's kind of put to the side when you're on set and when you're working in a new environment, you know? So of course the skills are definitely relatable, and stuff like, you know, like I said, prep, the hours, the kind of day-to-day of it, stuff you can kind of it's kind of transferable, but it was definitely a different environment.
Getting chased by monsters on a football field, absolutely.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? Like
just a little bit, right?
There's a whole lot of differences going on. So, yes, I would say yes. Some skills are transferable, but definitely not all of them. And you have to be able to adapt.
The BTS kind of content's been coming out from you and the cast as well, and people are loving it, and people are loving the show. What is something on the top of your head that you can share here on Popternative about making Goosebumps that people might find fascinating or didn't realize, or something, or misconceptions? Anything on the top of your head? I mean, you did mention like the CGI component, so like I feel like some people might not realize that like some of those things were like really not there. I feel like those are the best videos too. Zach, I don't know if you're a big BTS guy, the ones where it's like how you made it and someone's screaming and there's like a ghost there that's screaming to nothing.
Yeah. I mean, there was a whole lot of that. There was a whole lot of that. I'd say, I think that another cool moment in the show, in episode 8, where we do it's like the snow stuff.
Yeah.
And we shot that in Whistler in Vancouver. And it was minus 22 degrees, which is a cold that my body has never felt before. We don't get that in the UK. It's cold right now. It's I'd say it's about 1 degrees, maybe even a 0, and that's cold. For me, cold. You're wearing your big coat, you're putting your layers on. So minus 22 degrees is a temperature that my body is not accustomed to. So we shot there for a good few days, and the scene where Isaiah is hanging from the kind of the cliffside, the mountain.
Yeah.
They built like a small mountain. So they built the cliff edge out of like styrofoam, I think.
Yeah.
What it called. Whatever you call it.
Styrofoam.
I'm not in the props department. I just know what it looks like. So they built like a small version of that in Whistler, and it was next to where they done the Winter Olympics, the ski jump.
Yep.
Yeah, it was like next to there, which was dope. So I could see the ski jump, and it was like a small cliff edge that I was kind of hanging from and doing my thing.
And it was cold. That's the whole moral of the story, right? It was cold.
It was cold. That I think that's the thing that I wanna get out there. That was not CGI. the breath that you could see coming out, it was because it's cold. And
you delivered, man. I wanted BTS. You gave BTS. This was
the moral of the story is cold. So
cold.
What you were getting was real, and we put ourselves through some real stuff to give you that.
In a time where we're watching a lot of content and there's different ways we're watching it, Zach, where we have the binge where they just drop it all and everyone just watches it, and then you have with Goosebumps the week to week where people kind of have to wait every week for a new episode, and then they have theories and everything. Two-part question here. I mean, one, what was that like? Was it cool kind of seeing all the fan theories here and there that were coming out and everything? And then part B is like, did you guys have like a lot of theories sometimes, or were you given everything in advance, like as a cast, like about what was happening in certain kind of characters and everything?
I love seeing all the fan theories.
Yeah,
I love all them, and I was checking it out before the show came out as well.
Yeah.
As Disney and Sony were dropping the teasers and what people thought was going to be in the show from the teaser, and then they get the whole trailer, and then they think what's going to be. But obviously, from that side of it, we knew what was going to happen. But as far as what the final product was going to be, I saw episode. I think I saw 1, 2, and 3.
Yep.
So after that, I didn't know what was going to happen. Do you know what I mean? So I was experiencing it as everyone else was experiencing it.
And that's the coolest thing.
Which was kind of cool because I got to enjoy it, as a viewer, as well as being part of the creative team. But all the edits and the final coloring and that's not what we do. We do it and then we leave. So to see the final stuff as it's coming out, as you guys are seeing it, I don't know, it felt like a real rounded time. And it's kind of old school as well, it felt.
Yeah.
Like, because you gotta be home on a Friday. You get together on the Friday to watch the new episode.
And then like you have the dinner table conversations, right? Of like, what's going to happen next episode, right? Like the conversations get created.
Rather than if you've seen it all, then you've seen it.
And they have to wait like
you know what I mean? And some people have seen it, they've seen all 10, but you're still on episode 2 and you can't do spoiler. But if you're all on the same page, then it leaves you all in suspense, which I think strategy wise is pretty cool.
And all the episodes are out now streaming on Disney Plus and Hulu, so they can check that out. That's Goosebumps. Zach, it was really great chatting with you, man. Thank you so much for your time and coming on the show, dude.
Hey, thank you for having me, and thank you for your energy as well. You're dope.
I appreciate that. That means a lot. All episodes are streaming. Instagram is the best way for people to keep up to date with everything. Is it just your name, or is it something in regards to Zack Morris on Instagram for you?
Just _Zack_Morris, but just type in Zack Morris and
you'll find it. Absolutely. Well, this has been Pop Turn at youtube.com/PopTurn for previous episodes. You can catch all the episodes of Goosebumps streaming on Disney Plus and Hulu. Until next time, this is Zack Morris and Pity Beats signing off.
Thank you for tuning in to Popternative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popternative on YouTube.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.